Hello Darts Nutz. I'm going to do a review of the new Voks Tracer One darts. These have just come out in the Voks 2015 range. As you can see, it comes in the usual Voks packaging, nice neat cardboard box, and on the back tells you the weight, 23 gram. Also has a description of the various points that Voks do, and I do quite like these boxes. Got a nice little magnet on there which keeps the lid closed, and inside you've got your darts with their little Voks wallet and some Voks standard shape holographic flights, and also a point protector and some short alloy stems. This is a fixed point dart. I don't think there's any other options available in this particular model yet. I think they're only fixed point, and out of all the designs that Voks have come out in the 2015 range, this is probably the least radical of the designs, but it's still quite a unique shape and quite a different kind of a grip, although there has been similar darts with a similar grip before, but this has got a very deeply cut longitudinal groove in it. So, and it's kind of like a torpedo shape, but probably the more conventional style out of the ones that have come out recently. I'll just read what it says off the website. It says teardrop indented front end, tapered out into a series of shark grips. Within that shark body are open horizontal cuts, teardrop indentation tapered to the back. I don't know why they said the tungsten content. They're a 90% tungsten, and these retail for $79, and they're available in two weights, 21 and 23 gram. So we'll have a close look at the barrels now. Alright, here's the close look, then I'll put the detailed picture up with all the measurements. Fitted with quite a long silver point, and it's got a very nice profile to the barrel, and as it said on that little sheet I was reading, it's got these little teardrop shaped indentations on the nose of the barrel. I don't really think it would be a good way to grip that close to it, but if you like to rest your finger on it, it's quite good for that. Adds a little bit of roll and resistance, and as you can see, this grip here, it looks pretty savage looking, quite aggressive looking grip, but when you feel it, although it is quite grippy, it's not as aggressive as you might think, and I think it's because, I don't know if you can see, it's got the edges kind of smoothed off a little bit, so they're like kind of smoothed down, so they're not as edgy, but you've still got some bite as you push forward. It still grips into you, so it's still probably a high level of grip, but I think it might release nice and clean as well because of the smooth edges, and you can feel where them grooves are, kind of as like a, as you roll it across your thumb, kind of almost feels like flattish, and then you get into the shark bits, but if I just hold it lightly in my grip as if I was going to throw it, it doesn't feel as pronounced, but still quite grippy. But like I say, it's quite a nice shape to the barrel, and at the end the indentations just carry on a little bit up to these little grooves, and then it just smooths off towards the end of the barrel. And then you're fitted with some short alloy stems and some holographic Voks standard shape flights. Quite nice little flights then. So I'll just let you look at the dart, then I'll put the detailed picture up, see if I can get it as close as possible. Okay, here's the detailed picture. The darts are fitted with a 32mm point. It's got a kind of a square nose to the barrel, which is straight for a little bit before it tapers upwards. That's 13.5mm wide. Then you go into the main section of the barrel, which is made of this kind of a smoothed edge shark grip with these very deep long grooves cut into the length. That's 21.8mm wide. Then it starts to taper towards the rear, and you've got this section of about 8.6mm before it gets to a couple of very thin shallow cut rings with a little bit of wide band in between. That's 2.3mm, and then a smooth section on the rear of 5.5mm. Overall length is 51.7mm and the width is 7.54mm. Alright, I'll take some measurements along the barrel. Barrel length is 51.7mm, and I think it's going to be wider somewhere around the middle. I'll just see if I can, maybe awkward with these little spiky things sticking up. Let's say 7.54, and a little bit further down from that as it tapers, 7mm, and then it tapers right to the nose, about 4.2, and at the end of that grip, 7.46, it's tapering towards the back, and then it gradually tapers on that bit where the two grooves are, 6.3, and then right to the end of the barrel, 6mm. Right then, let's weigh the barrels, see how they match. That's 23.06. That's 23.06. And that's 23.06, so that's pretty amazingly well matched. And the weight of the full setup as it's supplied is 24.84 grams. Let's see if I can find the balance point then. I have a feeling that the shape of the barrel with them grooves is going to affect how easy it is to find it, because it's making it sit kind of flat. So, but I suspect it's going to be around about that. Wait there, see, I think I've got, yeah, that's better. I found like two edges with nothing attached. It's front weighted very slightly. I think it's mainly because this back end goes thinner and you got most of the thickness there. But with the supplied setup, let's have a look. Yeah, it's pretty much in the middle with the supplied setup, probably just slightly front of centre. So that's the detailed look at the Voks Tracer One. It's a very nicely shaped dart. It just depends how that grip works when I throw it. If it's too aggressive, it may be hard to release, but I don't think it will be. And it sits quite nicely in your fingers, feels quite nicely balanced there. So let's give them a throw and see how they go. I'm holding it pretty close on the nose of the barrel. I don't really think it's meant for a front grip really, but I am holding it right on them little notches, and that point is actually quite a long point, and although it's not flying terrible, it doesn't feel quite right, the balance there for my front grip, but I suspect it's more for a middle gripper anyway, and possibly a rear gripper. But it's kind of getting, when I was throwing it, it was kind of like swinging to the left a little bit, and then it was like straightening up a little bit, so it wasn't totally stable through the air, but it was still kind of going pretty much in the direction I was throwing it, which wasn't all that great. But although it doesn't feel uncomfortable gripping it there, it just doesn't feel like the balance is right. So I'm going to move my grip up just a little bit, and then I'll probably try it fully in the middle, but I'm just going to move it just to where the grip starts, see how that feels. That feels a bit better there. Still not perfect, but it felt a lot better balance. It actually flew a little bit smoother. Yeah, so just that little bit of extra grip there, just by moving my thumb up a little bit and my finger, getting a little bit of a more purchase there, and it doesn't feel overly aggressive at all, that grip. It looks vicious, but it's not very edgy. So like I said before, the edges are kind of smoothed off, so you've got a nice grip there, but it doesn't stick to your fingers like I thought it might have. So it's not too bad there, but I'm going to try it in the middle. I think that's probably where it's going to be best myself. The balance for there feels spot on. Just feels a little bit more awkward with me moving my grip up there, and I think it's not so much the fact that my grip is in that position. I think it's because I'm still trying to rest that finger on the point, and I think I'd probably prefer a shorter point, but I'll give it a few more throws. But I have a feeling if you're a middle gripper, it's probably going to be working best for you. Yeah, that was a lot better there. Right, you know, I'm not a natural middle or rear gripper, but I can usually get away from trying it in those positions. I'll have a couple more from the middle. Certainly feels better balanced there, and I think it's a little bit more smoother in the flight, but obviously, as I'm not a natural middle gripper, and I think it's more the point that's put me off a little bit there, but it might take a few more to get the hang of it better. Yeah, that middle, the last one and the first one, I think, they flew very nice. But one more go from the middle. I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. Yeah, I can see this being a nice start for a middle gripper. Balance is very nice there, and you've got the full nice chunky feel of the grip, without being too aggressive, but still giving you plenty of grip to hang on to. You can feel it as you're pushing there, but it doesn't stick in you. It's hard to explain because depending on how you grip it and where those grooves land on your grip, you get a kind of a different feel, but you kind of get the edges along that groove as well. So it feels a nice start for a middle gripper. So if you're a natural middle gripper, you're probably going to like it a lot. Just for the sake of trying it then, I'm going to try right on that rear grip. It was a bit wild, but give it another go. Could possibly be a good dart for a rear gripper as well, but the only problem is you're not getting any of the advantage of the grip there because it's mostly smooth there. But I was getting that kind of a flight path. It was going up a little bit, but it was pretty smooth. I think the middle's the best position though. One last go from the rear. Too high. Yeah, I think a middle gripper probably going to like this a lot. Like I said, it's not too bad there from my front grip, but to me that is where the dart feels the best to throw from. So I'm just going to go back to that now just because it's more natural to me. Anyway, there you go, the Voks Tracer One 23g darts. Another very nicely machined grip from Voks. Quite a unique style of grip actually. One I think that middle grippers will probably get the best out of it. Wasn't too bad there from my frontish grip. Didn't feel quite right when I was gripping it on the nose, and maybe rear grippers will like it as well because it didn't feel too bad gripping it from there, but like I said, you're not getting that grip, so I'll definitely recommend it to middle grippers though. So that's the end of the review. Thanks for watching.